Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are not just looking at a workout plan. We're really trying to reverse engineer a metabolic machine.
That's a great way to put it.
We've got this set of sources that lays out a blueprint for the Day 8 home HIE power cardio circuit.
Yeah.
And our mission today is to figure out why this specific structure, this exact recipe of timing and movement is so effective.
Exactly right. For anyone who's ever been curious about HIE, high-intensity interval training, this circuit is, well, it's a perfect case study. We really get to dissect the architecture of it.
Yeah.
This isn't just, a random list of exercises. It's a very strategically built sequence. It's designed for full body conditioning, and it relies completely on your own body weight.
And no equipment, which is huge.
Zero equipment. We're going to zero in on the timing, the technical cues, and really the physiological logic behind why it all works together.
And the promise here is massive.
Right.
But that's what pulls people in. We're looking at a total time commitment of just 22 to maybe 28 minutes. And for that, the sources claim you get maximum calorie burn and this critical metabolic spike.
And that metabolic spike is where this gets really interesting. The sources are so clear on the 4 goals of this routine, and they are just ruthlessly efficient.
Okay, so what are they?
Well, first, maximum calorie burn in a short session, obvious enough. Second, boosting your cardiovascular strength. But the third one, that's the powerhouse.
Let me guess, it's the afterburn.
It's the afterburn, increasing your metabolism for a full 24 to 48 hours after you're done.
Okay, that post-workout benefit, that residual burn, that's the holy grail of efficiency. We can't just state that, though. We have to understand the mechanism. What is actually happening in your body for those next 2 days?
Right, so we're talking about something called EPS, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption.
EPSE.
Think of it like a debt. The intensity of this specific HIIT workout, especially with this high work, low rest ratio, it pushes your body into an anaerobic state. You build up an oxygen debt. So once the workout's over, your body needs a ton of oxygen and therefore energy to get everything back to normal. We're talking repairing muscle fibers, restoring energy stores, dealing with lactate. All of it costs calories.
So those intense 16 minutes basically force a crisis.
A mini crisis. Yeah.
And your body spends the next day or two cleaning up the mess, and that cleanup process is what burns the calories.
Precisely. And that brings us to the final goal, which is just comprehensive, full body engagement. Legs, core, chest, shoulders, arms, everything's working to maximize that systemic repair job. It's an engine designed to burn fuel during recovery.
Okay, let's unpack the core engineering then, because the structure is everything. What defines the HIE structure in this specific workout? Why, for example, that 40-second work phase?
The structure is all about the ratio, 40 seconds of intense controlled work and then just 20 seconds of rest.
A 2-to-1 ratio.
It's strategic. 40 seconds is long enough to really maximize muscle fiber recruitment and start depleting your local glycogen stores. It drives that high-intensity burn and contributes massively to the EPOC we just talked about.
What if you went longer, say 60 seconds? Why not just push harder for longer?
Well, if you push towards 60 seconds, especially with moves like jump squats or push-ups, a beginner or even an intermediate person, their form is just going to fall apart.
Okay.
The movement slows down, the quality degrades, and your risk of injury goes way up. 40 seconds is kind of the sweet spot. It's long enough for a real systemic push, but short enough that you can maintain, maximum technical integrity.
And the 20 seconds of rest, that feels brutally short. I assume that's on purpose.
Oh, absolutely. It's the minimal effective dose for recovery. It's just enough time to catch your breath for a second, mentally reset, but not nearly enough for your heart rate to drop back down. You're constantly training in that high heart rate zone.
And the whole circuit is 4 exercises repeated for 4 full rounds.
4 rounds, yes.
So just to walk everyone through the flow. You go all out for 40 seconds on one exercise, you stop, take 20 seconds of rest. Then you immediately move to the next one, 40 seconds on, 20 off, and so on.
Exactly. One full circuit of all 4 movements is 1 round.
And you do that 4 times.
4 times. The sources are very specific. That whole sequence gives you 16 really intense minutes. It is dense, it is focused, and it absolutely maximizes that combustion phase.
But no engine starts cold. Right? Preparation it's non-negotiable. The sources lay out a very specific 5-minute warm-up. We should probably dig into the logic behind this minute-by-minute plan.
We have to. The warm-up is all about mitigating injury and priming the exact movement patterns you're about to demand from your body. It's a linear progression.
From low mobility to more dynamic activation.
That's it, exactly.
So what does that progression actually look like?
It starts super simple, 1 minute of just marching in place. This is just to get your core temperature up a bit, get the blood flowing. Then you immediately move to 1 minute of shoulder rolls combined with arm swings. This is critical for the upper body, especially lubricating the shoulder joint before it has to handle the push-ups and the plank.
So you're preparing the specific joints that are about to be under the most stress.
Precisely. Next up is 1 minute of hip circles. Vital for mobilizing that big hip joint, which is our main driver in the jump squats. If your hips are stiff, your squat depth and your power are just gone.
Right.
After that, 1 minute of jumping jacks. But, and the source emphasizes this, performed easily.
Not going all out yet.
Not at all. This is just a dynamic way to get the heart rate up a bit more and establish a rhythm without pre-fatiguing the muscles.
And that final minute before the real work begins.
The final minute is pure activation. Ankle mobility drills and mini squats. You're waking up the glutes, you're mobilizing the ankles to make sure you're stable during the explosive part of the workout.
This 5-minute structure is like preventative medicine.
It is. It's detailed so you don't skip a single step.
That structural approach, I mean, that's what turns a generic warm-up into real preparation. So now we're ready for the 16 minutes of pure intensity. Let's decode these 4 movements.
Okay. These 4 were chosen because together they hit the entire kinetic chain. And when we talk about technique, it's all about the quality of those 40 seconds, not just surviving them.
Let's start with the first one, the jump squat. This is explosive. It demands maximum output from your biggest muscle groups. What are the specific form cues the source material really hammers home?
The jump squat is designed to be an immediate metabolic shock. So the cues are all about joint health and power. Number 1. Land softly.
Like a cat.
Exactly. You have to absorb that impact through your ankles, knees, and hips. They need to be shock absorbers, not rigid poles. Number 2, knees tracking outward over your feet. If your knees collapse inward, you're just asking for trouble.
And the chest.
Chest up. Always. That prevents it from becoming a hunchover exercise and ensures the power is coming from your glutes and hamstrings.
But for a beginner, 40 seconds of explosive jumping is a lot. Did the sources suggest how to scale that back if your form starts to go?
Oh, absolutely. The progression is key. If you can't land softly anymore, you just scale it back to a regular air squat for the rest of those 40 seconds. You just focus on the speed of the up and down movement. You still get the intensity from the volume, even without the jump.
Excellent. Form over everything. Okay, next up, the push-up. This is where so many people, myself included, fail when they get tired. What's the detailed focus here?
Well, this is as much a test of your core stability as it is your chest and arm strength. The absolute non-negotiables are your elbow position and your midsection.
Okay, so core tight.
Core tight, squeeze your glutes, engage your abs. That's what stops your hips from sagging, which protects your lower back.
And the elbow angle. The sources mentioned a very specific window, 30 to 35 degrees. Why so specific?
That range is the gold standard for protecting your shoulder joint. It maximizes chest and tricep engagement. If your elbows flare way out to 90 degrees, what some people call a T push-up, you're putting a ton of stress on the front of your shoulder.
Right.
Sucking them in closer to that 30 to 45 degree angle distributes the load properly.
That's a detail that separates a good workout from a potential injury. What if you can't hold that perfect form for 40 seconds? How do you adjust?
The first step isn't to drop to your knees, it's to shorten the range of motion. Just don't go down as far. If your form still breaks down, then you can drop to your knees, but keep that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Keep the glutes engaged.
Okay, moving on. The last 2 movements, these are about speed and stability. Exercise number 3 is mountain climbers. What's the priority, speed or control?
Control first, always, because that's where the core work is. The main focus is keeping your hips low and your back flat.
I see people's hips shoot up in the air all the time with these.
All the time. And when that happens, you lose all the abdominal engagement. It just turns into this weird crawl. So you have to imagine a straight line from your head to your heels.
So keep the hips low and then drive the knees fast to keep the heart rate up.
Exactly. It's basically a sprinting plank. And that leads us right into the final challenge of the round, the plank hold.
40 seconds of a plank hold after all that. That's a mental game as much as the physical one. What muscles do you need to be consciously firing to hold that perfect line?
Everything. The goal is maximum isometric tension. To keep that straight line from head to heels, you have to actively squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes, and pull your navel in toward your spine. The moment your lower back arches or your hips sag, it means your glutes and quads have checked out.
I'm seeing the strategy now. These 4 exercises, jump squats, push-ups, mountain climbers, plank, it's a continuous cycle.
Yeah.
Large muscle groups, then core, then repeat.
It is. It's designed to manage local muscle fatigue while keeping your systemic heart rate sky high. That 20-second rest is just enough for, say, your legs to get a tiny break before your chest has to work, but your heart and lungs never really get to recover. That's the ingenuity of it.
So after those 16 minutes are done, we've hit peak metabolic burn. But you can't just stop. The cool down is listed as absolutely critical. Why can't we skip this?
You can't skip it for 2 main reasons: safety and recovery. Safety first. If you just stop dead after intense exercise, blood can pool in your legs, which can make you dizzy or even nauseous.
Right.
And second, recovery. We need to lengthen those muscles that were just contracting like crazy to minimize stiffness and really kickstart that EPOC phase.
So what does that 5 to 7 minute recovery sequence actually involve?
It starts with 1 to 2 minutes of just slow walking in place. This is your active deceleration. It prevents that blood pooling and starts shifting your body out of that fight or flight mode.
Okay, then stretching.
Then static stretching, yeah. You hit the biggest muscle groups first.
So hamstrings and quads.
Yep. 30 seconds of a hamstring stretch per leg, then 30 seconds of a quad stretch per leg, just a gentle static hold. After the legs, you address the upper body. 1 minute for a chest and shoulder opener. You could clasp your hands behind your back or use a doorway to stretch out your chest.
And how does this whole 28-minute cycle finally wrap up?
The final 1 to 2 minutes are just for deep, deliberate breathing. And this isn't just to feel good. It actively stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest system. It's the final signal to your body that the work is done, and it's time to shift all resources to recovery.
So we have this perfectly engineered structure: a 5-minute warm-up to prevent injury, 16 minutes of strategic high-intensity work using that 40.20 interval, and then a mandatory cool-down to trigger recovery.
And the result is a full 24 to 48 hours of a boosted metabolism, all done in your living room.
It's that ultimate trade-off, isn't it? Maximum intensity for minimum time, leading to that prolonged afterburn.
The brilliance of the design is that it creates just enough physiological trauma to trigger that really long and expensive recovery process for the body.
That distinction, the prolonged and expensive recovery process, that's the key takeaway for you, the listener. It's not about the calories you burn in those 28 minutes. It's about what happens over the next 2 days. So here's a final provocative thought for you to consider, based on how deeply this is all engineered. If the main goal here is to trigger EPOC for a 24 to 48-hour payoff, what long-term adaptations does your body make to handle the repeated demand of those 20-second, barely recoverable rest periods? Think about that. Not the work itself, but how your body learns to handle that chronic, short recovery window over time. Think about that difference as you plan your next fitness block.